Hello and welcome to the Broads of Broadway, where we discuss Broadway divas because that's all we know.
Accurate.
That's literally our only knowledge.
Composes 75% of our conversation on a daily basis.
We have a shrine on our wall.
We do have a wall shrine.
To Broadway divas and also Barack Obama, but that doesn't count.
It composes about 5 square feet of wall space.
It really does. Anyway, my name is Joey Vilkortson.
And I am Amy Carruthers.
And we're going to talk about some of our favorite Broadway divas. Let's start with a definition of diva.
Okay, that's important.
Because I, on a regular basis, wear a diva necklace. And a lot of people get the wrong idea.
I wonder why.
A lot of people are like, oh, so you're fussy and you're hard to work with and you're a terrible person.
They're not wrong.
Wow. But the reason I wear a diva necklace is I go back to the original definition, which is the definition that one of the divas we'll talk about later, Patti LuPone, likes to use, which diva used to mean just the top performer in the company. And so they would be the one that had the talent and had the name recognition and you wanted to watch. And that's my goal, to be that sort of a person. Not to be terrible. So what we're going to do with Broadway divas is they are some of the most talented in their field. Now, some of them will be fussy, and we'll talk about how fussy they are.
Yeah. But,
But that's just a side point.
Is not a must-have.
No. Some of these people are probably really, really nice. I'm sure a lot of them are. But we're still going to classify them as divas because we feel they're at the top of their field.
And they deserve the praise.
If we go away from the iconic level and go more modern, I have a couple to bring up. You would not be able to guess these two. Not that one of them is my phone background and the other one is one of my idols. But we'll start with Stephanie J. Block.
Mm-hmm.
I follow her on Twitter. She just seems like the nicest, most caring person, but all the roles she plays, she is fantastic.
She was the Elphaba in Wicked before you all knew the name Idina Menzel.
She thought that was going to be her Broadway debut, and they took it from her when they came to Broadway. She did all the out of town. She did it in Toronto. She got stuck in the rafters when they were testing how to do Defying Gravity and got really hurt, and then they perfected it and fired her.
and hired Idina,
and she made her Broadway debut the same year in The Boy from Oz, playing Liza Minnelli, and was at the Tonys when Idina won her Tony for Wicked.
That must have hurt.
I've heard her tell this story before, it hurt her a lot, and she probably said some things she would have regretted, but she is a firm believer that happened for a reason, and apparently a lot of things in her life hinge on her going into Wicked on Broadway when she did, rather than at the beginning. So she was...
Yeah,
she's fine with it now.
She's played the role by now.
Yeah,
and first.
I think it's better. It's
very... Hot take.
It is a hot take, but it was very obviously written for her voice. She slays. It's so good.
Yeah, I must admit I'm not fully educated in Stephanie J. Block Elphaba, but I'll probably have to remember
You'll have to look it up. It's so good. It's so good. I can't even. Tell them how I am defying gravity. I'm flying, defying gravity, and soon I'll match them in green now. Also on my list of divas who aren't necessarily divas, Carolee Carmello.
Carolee Carmello.
Again, I follow her on Twitter. I watched her Broadway.com vlogs. She seems like the nicest person you'll ever meet.
Which you would never believe from the roles she plays,
No,
she is wild.
What I always say is I want the respect and adoration of Patti LuPone, but to play the roles of Carolee Carmello.
Because every role that she plays is usually hysterical, screaming, breaking down, dark. It's so fun.
It's really true. She plays some crazy things. I've been humble brag times. I've just been cast in a role that she played. Mm-hmm. So I've been I'd never really looked into her career before. I was yeah, she can sing. She's good. I never watched her as a performer or as a person, but I've done a lot of looking into her, and I'm just Jesus, what? Why? And she didn't study to be a musician either. She's never had any formal training. Yeah, she went to college for business. And she always says her dream is to be a personnel manager at IBM, and that it still is. And that's what she wanted to do with her life. That's what she's going to do with her life. She auditioned for a summer stock gig, and they're like, you have to join Equity if you do this. And she was like, never thought I'd be an actor before. Might give it a try. What? And then she became Carolee Farmello.
Yeah, that is wild. She's probably my favorite. Obviously voice, because she's amazing, but like voices, you have a large pick. But if I have to go for like the performance value that really strikes a chord in me, Carolee, she's larger than life on stage.
She makes me care about stuff I never would care about. Like, I am really obsessed with this musical called Scandalous now. Just because I was like looking into her career, and it was like, this show, I've never heard of this show. And I had always thought it would be terrible because I knew there was a musical written by Kathy Lee Gifford of the Today Show fame. I don't think this will ever be good. I'm just going to steer clear. And then I found out Carolee was in it, and I was like, well, I guess I'll give it a listen. And it's about a 1930s evangelist and like how she's like scrutinized because she's a divorced woman trying to be a preacher. And I was like, this is going to be horrendous. I'm going to hate it. But good God, Carolee sells it.
Helpless people huddled beneath my makeshift steeple, longing for healing, longing for peace, desperately seeking some kind of release from the pain and hopelessness at such a time as this.
She also really sold me. There's a musical on Broadway of The Addams Family, which is famous.
Oh, yes.
And they revamped the storyline a lot for Broadway, including adding a family to be sort of a normal family to be a contrast to the Addams. And when I first heard about this, I was like, I don't care. You come to a musical to see the Addams Family. You don't want to see the Beinecke's, who are the normal people. And I'm like, whatever. And then there's a song where Carolee accidentally drinks a magic potion that makes her like dark and like evil, and all of her inner inhibitions break forth. So she goes from the sweet housewife to like literally darker than the Addams themselves.
Yeah.
And Carolee makes me care deeply about Alice Beinecke when she's sitting next to Morticia Addams, and suddenly it was beautiful. It was fantastic.
It's true. Back when I first saw The Addams Family, I was just getting into Broadway, and I didn't know who Jackie Hoffman was. I didn't know who Krista Rodriguez was. I didn't know who Carolee Carmela was. I knew who Bebe Neuwirth was.
Right.
And I knew who Nathan Lane was because I had that sort of knowledge. And I was listening to it, and I was like, this is fine. Love me some Bebe Neuwirth. Can't sing.
No.
So I was like, this is fine. I'm getting through Full Disclosure, and then it gets to Waiting, which is the song that Amy was referring to where Carolee has a breakdown, and I was like, who is this person? Like, I care about this lady. I want to know who this is.
And if that ain't the definition of a diva.
Waiting for a lousy, rotting, vicious, rancid, flushed out, fetid, frenzied, fatal.
Time to transfer to Patti LuPone?
We may as well. We've talked about her for like the rest of this podcast already. She is everything I want to be. She is what I've always said since I've become a Broadway person, that when I grow up, I want to be Patti LuPone.
Patti LuPone makes it effortless.
She really does.
And that's what really just brings her to a new level for me, because like, it's like, I know that she's trying. I know she has all kinds of effort. I know she takes her roles very seriously. But it seems like she just comes out and effortlessly throws this off. And whereas some of the other divas, even ones who I rank very highly, are like giving it their all and like trying to like prove to you. Like Patti just pulls you to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Patti is like, I'm here. Like, I don't
deal with it.
Yeah. It's truly a stunning lesson in stage presence.
I think the big defining factor here is she is a Juilliard trained actor. Mm-hmm. Like, she did voice, she wanted to be like a singer and all that jazz and whatever, but she got into the first ever class of the acting school at Juilliard, and so she's like very well trained as an actor. And I think that comes through, like, I always hold to the fact that anyone who wants to be on Broadway, you can't just sing and dance. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to act, and Patti LuPone is a grade A lesson in how to be an actor who sings rather than being a singer who acts.
And this is proven by, normally, if you're going to have a crowd thundering stop the show applause moment, it has to be in a defying gravity type vocal song where you are going crazy with belting and high notes. However, Patty's signature songs, take for example the concert version of Company.
Yeah.
There's a song that she sings called Ladies Who Lunch, which is not necessarily vocally challenged.
No.
Joey and I have timed it, and in that concert version, after she finishes, the applause stops the show for a legit minute.
I've been very fortunate to see Patti LuPone live in concert. Have I never told you that before?
You have.
Oh, okay. But I saw her when I was in 8th grade, maybe, because I was that cool as a middle schooler. I went to see Patti LuPone, and she just has this, like, magnetic quality that was, like, once the show started and she walked out on stage, I could not look away. I was, like, in tears. I could not breathe. My mom thought I was gonna die. But I was like, I can't physically look away. You just want to see everything she does. You don't want to miss anything. And I will also throw in now, because we're going to go there, she's the only one on our list of divas that I feel has the bad connotation of diva as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, do we want to talk about the cell phone?
We're going to talk about the cell phones.
Oh, the cell phone.
So,
The much parodied cell phone.
Patti LuPone is a big proponent
Yes.
of turning off your cell phones in the theater.
She finds it the polite thing to do.
And it is. Like, every show is like, turn off your cell phones and pagers.
And everybody
no flash
chuckles quietly
photography.
and ignores it.
Yes, you don't do it. And, well, someone was stupid. The 2008 Gypsy. It was closing early due to, like, a big financial struggle on Broadway. Everyone was upset and mad. They hired someone to come take promo shots to maybe boost sales. Well, no one told Patti that someone was coming to take promo shots. And someone had a camera and was taking flash photography. And in the middle of the 11 o'clock number...
In the middle of the biggest song, the last song in the show...
she stopped.
Stop taking pictures right now! You heard the announcement? Who do you think you are?
I haven't heard of that happening. You know, every once in a while something like that will hit the news, but not on Broadway, not on the last song, not like in the middle of singing. And I just...
No, and she did not stop there. Because just last year she was in a play. And someone was sitting in, it was in the round, so there was audience all around, and she had a time when she walked through the house because she was playing a theater owner, so it was like interacting with the patrons as a theater owner would do, and someone sitting on one of the edges was just texting in their lap, and she took the phone and left, and took it backstage and did not give it back. And so she has a bit of a reputation.
Everything's gonna be bright lights and lollipops. Everything's having up roses for me and for you.
So that's been the Broads of Broadway.
And the plot twist is, my friends, that we were the broads all along.
I think anyone that knows me knows I'm a broad.
Yes, you are.
It's true.
You didn't even call me on that one.
Nope. Small and bitter.
So I've been Amy Carruthers.
And I'm Joey Volkortson. Tune in next time where we talk about more divas.